Let me talk! Let me talk! Let me talk! Let me talk!
Everybody is his own self, and I'm happy with the way I am, and that's it.
First time I saw him, I knew that this guy is going to be one of the best players in the world.
Just bow down at his feet. This boy is brilliant.
Masterclass player. He's one of the best players I ever trained in my life.
He always said that in primary school that he wanted to be the best footballer of the world.
Kevin is the modern playmaker.
What a ball! What a goal!
For me, perfect package.
You only ask about the guys that are not selected. See you tomorrow.
His career starts because of that. Sometimes in football, when you are in a bad moment, you just realize that, come on, I need to give more.
With Wolfsburg, he went to absolute European elite level.
There was something there inside him that he wanted to come back to the Premier League.
This is shaping up to be a vintage season for Kevin De Bruyne. Yes!
That is just on a different level.
I know a few bad losers, but he's one of the big ones. And that's because he's a winner.
Voted unanimously to let players restart training in small groups from tomorrow. It's the first step towards resuming the season, which was suspended 2 months ago.
The only thing that I think that's changed for me is I had, for once in my life, I had time to spend some time with my kids and see them growing up.
Like that.
It was a period to see how we would cope as a family, because obviously we are used to the routine of being away all the time, coming and going. Basically we were 10 weeks together all the time alone, and we managed really well, so I think we were both grateful for this period. When my wife and I talk about what we were doing like 6 years ago, it's kind of nothing, just chilling, and then now it's like routine, school runs, taking care, you know, the usual stuff. I think there's nothing better than to see your kids smile and be happy and enjoy what you can bring them, and yeah, that's it for me. It's a little town outside the big city of Ghent. It's nice to live there, it's a nice area, and a little bit quiet, to be fair. My parents always told me that the only thing I needed was a ball, even when I was like a baby.
Kevin was always a very active child. After 10 months he was already running around, and he never stops. He always wanted to play outside, playing with balls, didn't have any cars to play with. Everything he had was involved with playing football.
I was his first teacher in kindergarten when he was 2.5 years. Very small boy, very shy. When it was almost time to go outside and play, he was always the first one to wait at the door to run out to play football. Yes. Then I saw him smile. The other moments, not so much. No, he was only happy when he could play. Yeah.
We didn't have like goals in the beginning, so everything you could use was a goal, but obviously a lot of time it was just the bush.
Sometimes he was playing with his friend, and it was just around the corner, but they had flowers in the garden.
Yeah, the flowers got killed everywhere we played. So I think they said like, your right foot is strong enough, now you can try to do your left. And in the beginning, obviously it wasn't good, but the more you try it as a young person, the more you're going to benefit in the end. And I think it's a great thing for me to be two-footed.
Equalising goal, the City scored by number 17, Kevin De Bruyne.
A lot of players who are right-footed, they have a moment that they have to think how they play the left foot, and it's sometimes too late. And that's what Kevin has, but Kevin is left-handed. He's right-footed, left-handed.
For me, all players are different. I don't like to compare or this or that. You can see, in the past, one player with top vision of the game, but like him, it's hard to find one. He's like special.
Kevin was 10 times better than his friends. And he was always very, very frustrated that he couldn't play with him. So he almost played the match on his own, I say.
In Belgium, before you can go to a club, you have to be 6 years old. And when he was 5 years and went to the school, he was always nagging at home, I want to go to the football, I want to play football, I want to play with my friends. And just before he was 6 years old, we had to go to a club.
I think it was a muddy place. There was only like 1 or 2 pitches. Half of the time it was like flooded. So it's like your local team where you start with, and just have fun with your friends.
He was a little boy, and when you saw him for the first time, he was for me like a little adult. Many things couldn't do an adult with a ball like he was playing. He was always very enthusiastic with the ball. Even when there was no match or the match was stopped, he played again with the ball, and he was always happy.
Football was a fun thing for me until it became more serious and serious, where you need to think about more things.
This over here, this was the head field of KVV Drongen. And I had a little telephone from somebody who said, I think I know a quite good player for you. And the only thing that I knew from him that he had blonde hair. So it was quite easy, because in that team, the green-white shirt, there was only one blonde. And he was also quite the smallest one of the team. Normally at that age, 6 or 7 years old, every little player wants to get the ball and do the extra thing, of course. But in his way of playing, it was directly going forwards and taking 10 or 20 meters. So that's quite strange.
He was very fast with the ball, always the ball at his feet, and he could dribble, he could hack, and he also had a good shot.
My report was quite easy. We had to take him over from Drongen to Argent. That was not such an easy job.
We said it's too early, we're going to stay a little bit longer playing with his friends and enjoying himself. And the year after, the club came again and said, let him train with us as well once a week, and to see his development as well.
In the end, I think everybody needs to decide for themselves, and some know it quicker than others, but everybody has his own path to go to, and you need to figure it out yourself.
He said to his trainer, well, next year I'm not going to play here, I'm going to play somewhere else. And when they asked him why, the trainings are much better over there than here. He decided himself.
He went to our hand and I lost him, but I never expected that he will be a great player, international player, a famous player, and I'm very glad that I have the advantage to start with him.
They say, Kevin, if you want, you can take a friend with you, just to get involved in the team much easier. And he said, no, I don't want anybody else. I go by myself. And he said, no, I go by myself. And after 2 weeks, you know everybody, if you play football and you're okay.
I first met Kevin when I was 8, I think. I played for Genk and he was playing for Ghent, so we played against each other. Well, he was obviously the best player at their team, so we knew him. He was always watch out for the blonde kid. At the time, he was a completely different player, I think, than he is now. He was more attacking.
When he was young, he was more the one who was scoring the goals. But after a while, you could see that he has a range of shots he can do, and that's why he started it to see that it was more his thing than scoring the goals. Sometimes he could be frustrated when he came home after a game. He has to be always good, and yeah, that's of course very difficult when you're on young age and even when you're old.
On a tournament in the Netherlands, I think so. So we lose over there with 1-0, and he stayed sitting in the middle of the field. He wouldn't get out. His white hair, his head was full blood. He was red colored. So we have to take him up and take him off the field because in the tournament you have the matches and you have your program. You have to follow the program.
Well, he can be stubborn, and he had a temper. He was not afraid to talk back to opponents or even coaches.
When Kevin doesn't want to do something, he won't do it, and he will do everything to get what he wants to do. Yeah, the story with the post is quite famous in Belgium. Like, he got told off by someone, and he just grabbed the post that was standing there and didn't get loose. They had to try to pull him off, but Kevin was standing like this. I don't let it go. And yeah, it also gave him a bit the reputation of a guy with a manual, like one you have to treat carefully.
These are also the things that we are looking for. Somebody who's so focused There was only one thing, and that was football for him.
We waren sterk. Genk was heel goed. Het was een lastige partij, maar wij scoorden veel beter.
Treble winners, Manchester City. It's never been done before. Vincent Kompany and Kevin De Bruyne, serial winners.
If you break him down behind this whole nice boy kind of facade, there's a winner in there. I know a few bad losers, but he's one of the big ones, and you know, all these things in football just have a big effect on his mood and how he is and stuff like this. And he needs to be good on the pitch, and then he's a happy character. If he's not as good on the pitch, you will see him, it will change his life. And that's because he's a winner.
It's not just about talent, it's not just about a good pass, good dribbling, it's also this mentality. So I think he's one of the guys in the dressing room in Belgium, that can bring this mentality, you know, up for another level.
As a manager, you can give direction and you can give clarity, but the execution of being of a winning execution or not depends very much on the player. I've never seen Kevin De Bruyne being able to do things half-hearted. Even in training, it's just a way of being in his total career, from his early days in Genk and growing in the way that he did, is because he's a perfectionist and only winning would make sense in the way that he plays.
He's always been a very mature boy because he left home quite early. When he was 14, I think, he just told his parents, I want to go to Genk.
Ik denk dat in het verleden heel veel spelers de eerste stappen hadden gezet bij de jeugdopleiding van Genk. Dus de jeugdopleiding behoort tot de beste van België. En ik denk dat dat heeft meegespeeld in zijn beslissing om voor KC Genk te kiezen. Ja, ik denk dat hij bij sommige clubs is geweest en dat hij het beste gevoel had bij KC Genk. Ook hij moest hier komen wonen bij een gastgezin.
Obviously, I left home really early, so I think I had difficult periods socially, because obviously I left everybody behind, my friends, when I was 14, and I went to the other side of the country. I was a shy, really shy person, so it was really difficult for me to make a lot of social contacts, and the only day I was off to get social contacts really, or to have some fun, I went home to see my parents. So I think it took me some time to evolve in that sense.
I followed him through the years, and I've seen him growing as a person also. I think he's much social now. He was a bit shy. He wasn't very open. He was a nice boy, so I liked him very much, but it wasn't very easy to connect with him. It wasn't very easy because he was very closed.
Off the pitch, I know him as a quiet person, not very social. He's changed though, he's gotten better.
My missus is a real social person. She gets along with everybody, so she gave me more I would say the confidence to be okay with people. I was always like what do people want from me, and I noticed that I'm just more relaxed and I'm more open to people, where before I was just shut and that was almost impossible to get through the barrier, I guess.
In 2009 hebben we de finale gespeeld van de beker van België, de Cup. En we namen hem toen al mee bij de 20 geselecteerden als 16-jarige. Dat was Kevin, zijn eerste ervaringen. Hij was bij de selectie en dat had hij afgedwongen. En we hadden hem graag wat minuten gegund, maar hij is toen wel niet op het veld gekomen. Maar dat was een eerste prachtige ervaring voor hem, die cup winnen.
Nah, that was just the beginning. I'm very happy that I could start at the age of 17, start play football, because from the time I came to Chelsea, I had like almost 150 games on my resume already. I won some things. I know what fighting was against teams. In the first year we almost played against relegation, and the second year we won it. So I got used to circumstances at both sides, and you learn a lot of things when you're that young.
Ik heb hier nog wat foto's van teambuilding activiteiten. Dat is waar hij niet zo van hield. Hij wilde alleen maar voetballen. Dit was Kevin, krachttraining, waar hem ook niet zo het voor te vinden was. Maar hij deed het wel. En later heeft hij dan in de Bundesliga dus gewerkt aan zijn body die hij nu heeft. Hij heeft later pas ondervonden dat kracht heel nodig was. Dat was al een spelletje waar hij ook altijd in wilde winnen. Dat tekent hem, dus... Ja, inderdaad. We zagen al dadelijk dat Kevin de winnaarsmentaliteit had. Hij wilde winnen op training. En hij kon ook koppig zijn. Ik herinner me nog op training. Dus hij stond in het verliezende kamp. En heeft toen tegen Barda, onze topspeler, gezegd, loop een beetje meer. Ik wil deze wedstrijd winnen op training.
That's Kevin, but that's only when he feels something is unjust that he will get angry. It can be a referee sometimes too, but it's not something bad, I think.
A lot of people didn't like it at first, but I think that's what made him a better player, because he was not afraid to talk back and convince other people he was right.
If he has something to say, we'll say it. That's it. He's this kind of player. If he's not happy, we'll show to you, no, you don't need to do like this. And that's also, we need to accept it, you know, because as a more striker, more winger, Kevin is behind me, so sometimes he see things that I don't see. So if he tell me, yeah, then go on the right, no, go, I will do it. I just follow him. And he's like a leader on the pitch because the position is playing. So yeah, we talk outside the pitch, in the pitch, so we talk a lot.
KDB, bien quoi?
I remember first time when we played together in a young team with Belgium, like under 16 or under 17. First time I saw him, I knew that this guy is going to be one of the best players in the world, because his first touch, his vision of the game is perfect. So that's why he's there now.
I must say he came into the national team when he was very, very young. And at the time he really didn't leave a good impression on me. I thought, don't know, he just seems to moan a lot. He tries a lot of things. He wasn't coming off that time when he came. And I said, it's a shame. We could have done with some more talent in the team. And just anyway, time went by and then things happened, and all of a sudden, before you knew it, I was like, it's the best player we have. So I knew it all the time.
In Belgium, you have to see, people don't watch a lot of Premier League football. They only look at national performance in national team.
You have to stay relaxed and give everything to the team, and then nobody can complain, in my opinion.
Nothing is okay unless it's to win a football game and to find a winning answer. And that just makes it the perfect package. It's very difficult to have footballers that they control that technical element without disrupting the pace of the game. That's for me the uniqueness of Kevin De Bruyne's role. And then he's got this temperament of winner.
Belgium, he's our hero. Whole Belgium loves him as a player and as a person.
They want him to win things with Belgium, and that's why the fans, they push us, you know. The problem in Belgium is, like a couple of years ago, they always used to go Kevin against Eden, you know. We don't think like that. We're just playing together for now many years. We have one target together, is to win something with him in Belgium, and for him with Man City, for me with Madrid. But when we play together, we're just happy to be together. That's it.
He has an edge, and that's maybe perhaps in his first training with the national team way back when he was 18, or it's maybe the thing that didn't come across so well, is because he has an edge. And then he didn't perform on the pitch, and you're like, well, you have an edge, you don't perform, you know, what's that all about? But later on you realize that that's his true strength, you know. He has an edge in everything you do. When he tries to recover the ball, he's got a bit of a mean streak about him as well, where he's not just gonna, he doesn't mind getting physical.
Kevin is the modern playmaker. For me, playmakers in the past were always the players that they had to get an extra time and a bit of a space to execute their passes. Kevin De Bruyne doesn't need that time. He can be a playmaker with the pace of the game, or even accelerate the tempo of the game, and that's what he makes him unique.
The good thing is that when he turns and he see me, he try always to find me, you know, because I'm always between, you know, space lines. And also you know with Kevin, if you run, you don't even need to look at him. You just run, you look at the ball, you look at the goal, and the ball is coming in your feet. So that's simple to play with him. You just need to make runs, and that's it.
So when you got that technical level and that appreciation of a space and appreciation of time, you can play in any position. You don't rely on who's around you. You rely on having the opportunity to affect the game by what you do on the ball, and then he's got this physicality that he goes with it that allows him to be a very important player without the ball.
We finished third in the World Cup. Now the people, they accept for Belgium to win something. So we have a pressure now, but we can handle it.
Kevin was ook een speler die dus, gelijk al dikwijls is gezegd, een winnaar. Hij haatte verliezen en ik herinner me nog één keer onder de rust. We waren verplicht van een speler een interview te laten geven. En hij was zo pisnijdig op zijn teammates, op zijn ploegmaats, dat hij zich schaamde voor de teamprestatie eerste helft. Omdat wij toen achter stonden of in het verlies, en daar had hij een hekel aan en hij wilde dat ook aan de tv laten zien, dus aan de mensen, dat hij zich schaamde in de plaats van zijn teammaats, dus dat de prestatie zo slecht was in de eerste helft en hij liet dat duidelijk blijken voor de camera's.
He said what he liked to say, and when there are cameras or not, that doesn't interest Kevin that much. He's such a strong character and he showed it to them. And he is special, and he was it from the beginning, and he showed it also in that interview.
He got told off for that by the club, but it defines his character too. He's a winner, and he can't stand like that players aren't running his socks off.
I'm very calm until a certain moment, and then it pops something sometimes up. But that's what you need in life. It's not always about good, bad. everything is part of the process. You know, you need bus stops, you need discussions, not everything can be good.
I remember a game against Porto. I think he must have been 18. André Villas-Boas was still the Porto manager. It was the big Porto that won the Europa League later. And in that game, I saw that Kevin was the only one who could keep up with playing in one touch, who didn't lose the ball like the other ones. They were just blown away by Porto.
You could see that he was, he always was technically gifted, but he was already gifted technically at a very young age.
I think in that game, a lot of scouts, the Chelsea scouts were at that game too. There they have seen this guy can make it at the highest level.
My assistant manager, he collects shirts, and he was straight to Kevin, to the Bruyne in the end of the game. And I asked my assistant, "Did you ask for the Kevin shirt in the end of the game?" He said, "Yeah." And he still has it today, so it's a good memory.
It was a great time, but I also knew if I want to go further, I need to get out as quickly as possible out of Belgium, and I think I left it at the right time for me to go on and be a better player.
What stays with me is the goal against Chelsea. It was a defining time, it was a very difficult away game. Chelsea was a strong team as well at that time. It wasn't a game where you said, we're going to have clear chances, and usually these games end up being a draw.
Stamford Bridge is always so complicated for the quality, the manager, the experience for the players.
City beat Chelsea 1-0.
I remember, thank you.
Yeah, sorry.
The game was so perfect for them. I didn't remember one chance we had in the game. You know, they were controlling the game like the best way.
Usually we're like a team, they're all team goals, but that was him from the beginning to the end, actually creating this action and creating the space.
The action was good, the pass from Nico was good, the control from Kevin. When he received Kevin back from Gabriel, how 3 or 4 players make movements in behind, so was a good goal.
He scored a fantastic goal with his left foot.
Yeah.
So they won, and at Chelsea we were a little bit down, but it's part of football.
That I think was the first days we believe in ourselves, me included, to say, okay, we are able to go away in the biggest stages. You know, we could win 2 or 3-0 in that game. So that was so important for all of us. So important to say, wow, we are able to go away and make a good performance.
Big plays in big moments. That was a big moment for him, yeah.
It's a very nice win, because it's very difficult to win here.
Does it mean just that little bit more to you as well, because you came here at Chelsea, didn't quite work out?
My conversations at the time was with Pete de Visser. Pete de Visser is Abramovich's personal scout, and he is the recommend. He makes a filter and selection of the very best young players in the world. And he spoke to me about Kevin.
To train with players like Lampard and many more. They are all great players, and I'm just a young player who want to achieve or to reach that level.
So it was an investment towards the future of Chelsea.
It was a great step because I also knew what the plan was at Chelsea, to go there and be on loan the first year and then come back, and then we'll see. So the plan at the time was very good for me.
Well, Werder Bremen, I think, marked a big stepping stone for him. It was obvious, I think, very early on that this was a very special player. He and his game went to a completely different level once that regular game time and a bit of experience and a bit of confidence. Once all these things came together, then I think we saw him play the kind of football that went a long way to suggesting that this guy could be the real deal.
I remember that he was in Bremen already on a very top level. It was so difficult in general to play against them because he was so efficient. He was assisting a lot of goals. That's what I remember mainly, you know. But was also scoring quite a few, and where all the Bundesliga knew his name.
The loan to Bremen was very good for me, and I had a great year in the Bundesliga, and that showed me that I was even ready to do better than I did there.
Interim manager Rafael Benitez leaving the club. Rumours of a familiar face returning to Stamford Bridge are beginning to gather pace.
It's a new kind of feeling because it's the first time I'm arriving to a club where I love it already.
Frank Buijsen, Belgian newspaper. What do you intend to do with Kevin De Bruyne and Romelu Lukaku?
Both of them are ready to come and are ready to be part of our squad.
Bremen tried very, very hard to buy him from Chelsea. They couldn't quite do it. There was a lot of interest as well from Dortmund at the time. Jurgen Klopp was desperate to get him to play for them.
I think that was the best choice for me, but they said that I couldn't go because obviously I had a great season the year before, and they wanted to show me that they wanted me. Yeah, I started the first few games did okay, but then didn't really feature anymore.
He's a different manager with different vision. You know, for Kevin was bad, but for us, for Chelsea, was the best at that time, the best manager. You know, so some of the managers have some decision, good for you, not good for you. So that's why we play football. It's not just a great line. Everything is okay, and sometimes you need to go down. That's it.
I make mistakes, but I try to be honest all the time. With Kevin is the same. He's not selected because I didn't like the match he played against Swindon, and I didn't like the way he was training. But you have this tendency, you only ask about the guys that are not selected. See you tomorrow. Thank you.
I think his career starts because of that. You know, sometimes in football, when you are in a bad moment, you just realize that, come on, I need to give more.
That was the first disappointment he got in his career because it was all uphill, and then all of a sudden you come at this big club and you don't get playing time, and that was the first time for him sitting on the bench or even in the stands.
I met him accidentally at the airport once, and there he said, I don't see perspective here anymore. I'm not gonna play. There's a World Cup coming, but for myself, I want to develop, and that's why he pushed for the move, because he wanted to develop and be number one somewhere, and not number 5 or number 6.
after 4 months, I just took the decision. I want to go. It's my decision. It's my career. It's my life. You know. Obviously, it's a business, but at that particular moment, it's all about me at that time. So I took the decision that I need to go, and then we'll see what team are interested.
Kevin De Bruyne, willkommen in Wolfsburg. Freust du dich, dass die Entscheidung gefallen ist?
Yes, I'm very happy. It's been a tough talks between the clubs, and it was a long time, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. So yeah, waiting and don't know what to do. But I'm happy that I now signed here, so I can move on with my football.
It's the best move he's ever made. They wanted to make him the star player, like he was at Genk.
We had the team meetings, we spoke about our own goals, what we want to achieve as a team in that year, and it was very honest and straight and directly that like Wolfsburg is just a step for him. And that was a little bit surprising for every teammate, that somebody of us said to us, yeah, I will be just here for a certain time and then I will leave to a top club. But I think he convinced everyone every weekend and every training session, so it was totally fine for him. And he supported every player in our team.
He had a clear plan of his future, and when you act as open as he did, all the players know how to handle him. So, and that's why he was so respected.
In the beginning, I needed some time because physically I wasn't great because I didn't play for 4 months. So I needed a month, 2 months. But yeah, my second part then there was brilliant.
There was so many moments in that season. I think it was a match against Hamburg where Hamburg had a corner and Kevin got the ball on their own box, had the ball on his feet, and then he just went to the other box, played the assist. I don't know who scored it, but I remember the assist, and that's what makes him so remarkable, because you remember the assists, and what player is it to remember the assists, not the goals?
Now to Bruyne, promising, clipped in towards Jesus!
Oh, De Bruyne first to it again. What a ball! What a goal!
I would argue he's the best player in the Premier League by a country mile, given how he can affect games.
Look at that. That is just off the charts. That is on a different level.
You can work on the passes, on dribbling, but the vision, you have it or you don't have it. So when you watch Kevin playing football, you can see that before the pass, he's already thinking what he's going to do next, you know. That's why he makes so many assists, and yeah, that's why he's one of the best players in the world.
Germany was perfect for him, and I think he changed as a player there. He ran a lot more physical.
Daar heeft hij ook leren wat werken is in de fitness. Misschien 1 minpuntje wat ik kan vertellen. Hij werkte niet graag vroeger in de fitness. Maar in Duitsland, Bundesliga, heeft hij dat bijgekregen. En daar is hij echt een complete speler geworden. Ja.
I remember playing in the league against Wolfsburg at home with Dortmund. We were so lucky that we got that point because of Kevin, because he played an unbelievable game away in our stadium in front of 80,000 people, which was amazing and amazing to watch even when you play against him. Of course, I remember they had also 2, 3, 4 other players who were vital for them, especially in that season. But Kevin, especially in that season, you felt he made a step forwards compared to his time in Bremen.
You know, it's a really hard game to speak about it because I remember there was my friend died a couple of weeks before that in a car crash. You know, it was just weird. We were not training really. It was really hard for a lot of players, and it was our first game back, so obviously we had a whole tribute for him and the minute silence, and it's one of these games where probably you just played on the emotion of being heard and from everything that happened, and it didn't even matter that it was Bayern at the time. I think it was all about us, but obviously I think it was the best tribute that we could give to him.
Some fans behind me, they said he's playing with a special ghost spirit with him, in him. And I remember that after his first goal, I think, he went to the corner as a sign to Junior, who died 2 weeks or 3 weeks ago.
While he was my countryman, I would drive home all the time. He was supposed to pick me up. The day that he died, I even texted him like, "Where are you? We're getting late." So you can imagine like how that must felt at the time. But it was just a weird game, and I even said the day before, I think we're gonna lose like 5-0. We never. Bayern had like 3 goals against in 17 games.
Kevin was absolutely brilliant. They beat them 4-1 in Wolfsburg, and it was the best match, the best performance of a player I have seen in Wolfsburg since I am covering VfL Wolfsburg.
There is no doubt that Guardiola, like everybody else, couldn't have missed the real quality that De Bruyne was showing. He was already at a level where if you weren't interested in him, then there was something seriously wrong with your scouting department. So having tasted, if that's the right word, his quality or the amount of damage he can inflict on your own team, I think Pep Guardiola was a huge fan even then.
Fußballer des Jahres 2015 an Kevin De Bruyne.
One of the most successful seasons we ever had in the Bundesliga history at VfL Wolfsburg, and for sure we won the cup. And I think it is just a sentence, but I think it is not realistic to win the cup or to win the cup without Kevin De Bruyne.
It's inconceivable to think what Wolfsburg would have been like without Kevin De Bruyne that season.
Probably think we overachieved a little bit as a team. So to be second, to be quarterfinals EuroLeague and win the cup, that was unbelievable for our team. But I also knew at the time that probably to repeat it is going to be very tough. So, yeah.
I think he went, and then this last year at Wolfsburg, he went to absolute European elite level.
Remember Edin Dzeko, who played for Manchester City as well. He was the best striker who ever played in Wolfsburg. Kevin De Bruyne, I think he's the best midfielder who ever played in Wolfsburg, and one of the best players who played in Wolfsburg at all. Yeah.
He was a great teammate. It was always a pleasure to work with him. I think he was definitely the best midfield player in the Wolfsburg history.
I think German football, to a large extent, really fell in love with him and certainly valued his contribution and wished he could have stuck around for a little bit longer.
When you are young, you dream about a lot of things. Of course, Premier League is one of the best league in the world, so when you dream about that, that means your mentality is good because you dream about to play in Premier League.
Bayern Munich wanted him badly. PSG were pushing.
It was a big competition, of course. One German club, French club, and then also the English clubs, no? But let's say that also Kevin, he wanted to come back to the Premier League. There was something there inside him that you could smell that he wanted to come back to the Premier League.
Oh, good morning, beautiful. Close up next to me, yes, please. You're right, you look gorgeous this morning.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay.
Once City came in from him, he wanted to move back to England because still that hard for England, because his granddad lived in England, and they've been a lot in England too. There's always been the connection with England.
My wife now was pregnant at the time, so we wanted to move to raise a kid. I think it was better to live here, to have like a transfer where I thought I could be here for many years.
Yeah, because you need this. This is a raincoat, and we know what Manchester's like, yeah? Rainy jacket for rainy Manchester, we like. Perfect, thank you, Con, that's brilliant.
Before he came, I was speaking to him quite a lot, you know, just to tell him a little bit about the club, and obviously I put my best sales hat on. And he came in and he rejected big clubs to come to City, and I thought, okay, here we go.
There's a City player who's on the bench today, Kevin De Bruyne, the new signing available for selection. A look of concern from Manuel Pellegrini. Well, Aguero calls for a substitution. Certainly not the circumstances Kevin De Bruyne would have liked, but he will make his Manchester City debut with Sergio Aguero going off.
It's a little bit bizarre to come in the way that I came today with an injury of Sergio, but everybody knows that I'm new in the team and that I will need some time to adapt to the way of playing.
His first half for City, 17, Kevin De Bruyne. Aguero, De Bruyne. And his first in a City shirt for number 17, Kevin De Bruyne.
I came here as a big transfer, and there's always some pressure in the beginning, but I think this was my second game already, so it helps forward with settling into the team.
It's De Bruyne, and City's record signing makes it 3 in 3.
It's Kevin De Bruyne once again!
It was the last year under Pellegrini, I think, and it wasn't a great year for us. I felt kind of responsible. I told him, I convinced him to come here, and now nothing's happened. Then Pep comes in.
The only thing that I knew is that if one day Pep wanted to come to the Premier League, he will come to us. This is only what I knew. And then he always there. But that time, of course, I did calls to my friends that they were in Germany, and he was in Germany that time.
You didn't see the picture. You didn't see the picture. Give it to me for my album at home, please.
For me, playing style is the most important. I like to play football in the way we do, attacking, on the floor, lots of intensity.
It is De Bruyne, it's two, it's clinical, from defence into attack in the blink of an eye.
Kevin says every trainer gives him something, and I think with Pep it's a little bit the same.
The vision from Pep and Kevin is similar, the way they want to play.
I think Pep, he can make Kevin great. You know, that's what he's doing on the pitch. But not just with Kevin, with Aguero, with Silva, with Mahrez. You know, with all of them, he take the maximum of the potential of the player, and they just put them on the pitch, and they do it magic.
I do think to get the best out of Kevin, you need to play in a certain way. You never get the most out of Kevin if you are not an attacking-minded team, and I mean attacking in every way, pressing, possession. So in terms of Kevin coming to City and Kevin meeting Pep, really, the paths that cross was a perfect blend for him. I don't think he would have ever got the most out of his career unless he would have worked with Pep.
As a player, you need to find teams or playing styles that suits you, because in the end of the day you need to enjoy what you're doing, and if you enjoy it, you're gonna play better.
Heading into 3 minutes of stoppage time. Not quite the perfect culmination to the season for Pep Guardiola.
With Kevin, you know, this guy can change in 1 second the game. He's 0-0, he make a pass, he make a shoot, it's a goal.
Forward by De Bruyne. Gabriel Jesus wins it with the last kick of the season. A century right at the end. Records broken and broken again.
His class on the pitch is phenomenal and is a joy to watch.
Yes!
But also his leadership. This is someone that has come into this club and has become both a leader on and off the pitch. Has raised the standard. When you have a player like Kevin, he raises the standard of everyone around him. It's been an absolute delight to see Kevin come and grow both as a player and as a person.
He's matured so much. He came in, I felt he was a kid. And when you look at Kevin now, he's a man, he's a leader, he's a big player, and everybody knows he's good.
Morning. Ik ben zowel lid van de Raad van Bestuur, I'm the vice president of KVG Drongen. En in een vergadering zei ik ooit eens van I have a dream. En die droom was van we hebben een ster in het wereldvoetbal die ooit gestart is bij KVG Drongen. Kunnen we daar iets rond doen? Hè? Kunnen we geen internationaal toernooi gaan opzetten, maar dat de naam Kevin De Bruyne draagt.
He said, okay, yeah, that's a nice initiative, and from there it started. And of course, with Kevin's name, you have a little bit of advantage if you ask teams to come over here, and we have the best teams in Europe who comes over here.
Kevin, welkom weer op uw cup.
Goedemiddag, alles goed? Jeroen, alles goed?
Maar als persoon is hij gewoon fantastisch. Dit jaar was hij hier 7 uur, stond hij ter beschikking van iedereen. Was open, was vriendelijk, heeft met iedereen gesproken, heeft de spelers begroet. Een geweldig persoon, ongelooflijk, zeer goed.
3 dagen. 2 dagen. Korte weken. 3? Ik kwam er 3 dag minder.
You see like players who come to the tournament and maybe a year or 2 years later they can break into the first team. Players like, for instance, Eric played in my tournament the first year, I think. And it's great to see like players who are that good to come to my little town and play at my tournament. So it's a great feature.
Mama de Bruyne, zijn moeder dus meehelpt van de vrijdagavond tot de zondagavond. Dat stuk karakter van de ouders zit heel duidelijk verweven in het karakter van Kevin. Ik haal het uit van het idee, als je het niet probeert, kan je het niet weten. En toen had ik het idee binnen onze organisatieteam gelegd van, zouden we niet Pep Guardiola even uitnodigen naar de Cup?
When I first got the invitation, I didn't want to give it. When the board asked me, because I felt a little bit embarrassed about it. But yeah, then I just give it because obviously I don't want to throw it away. What is just an invitation. If he doesn't come, he doesn't come.
Iemand als Pep Guardiola, de wereldcoach, hier krijgen, dat is een droom die uitkwam.
The people there really appreciate what he done and stayed for the day, and I think people, you know, he's one of the biggest coaches in football. To come to a tournament that is that small in a little town in Belgium is a big deal for those people over there, and I appreciated a lot what he did at the time.
I can't speak too much about his private life, but Kevin has a good house. You know, he's settled. He's a family man. He's a professional, and he's good in the team because he's willing to have fun as well. He's a good character for us.
I know Kevin since he made his debut age of 17. He's really down to earth in my eyes. He hasn't changed. Not a real superstar, what you sometimes expect from players of that level. Basically, except from his clothes, he hasn't changed, still the same.
This is the best car in the world.
I think there's something in his approach and the way he carries himself on the pitch, but also off it, that makes him very, very likeable. I think you don't really see him enjoying the limelight or on social media with sort of flashy cars or anything. He's just all about the game, and I think there is something almost old-fashioned about that attitude that people instinctively respond to.
It's still admirable that a guy still has the same friends as when he made his debut, for instance. There are not a lot of new people around either, so it's sticking to your friends, I think, is a good thing for him.
Over the last couple of years, we've gotten even closer. He became father, I became father. I'm the godfather of his kid, so I think our relationship is as close as it can get. We're basically like family. We call it family trips. We go on family trips together.
I like my group of friends. I like the people here. I am a very private person. Probably more tenderness to shy also.
He's just a nice guy, I would say. Like he doesn't take himself too important, even though he's so important for us. And he's just a good guy to have as a teammate, you know. He doesn't really take himself as so special, and that's what makes him so easy to deal with, and what makes him, such a good guy as well.
Kevin De Bruyne with the assist to equal Thierry Henry's 20 assists in a single Premier League season.
Well, it's obviously nice, especially because years ago in Germany and Belgium I played more up front. Now there's a lot of times where I play even defensive midfielder, so to create that many opportunities is good for me. But obviously, I only do half the job. You know, if the guys don't score them, I will not get this. So it's always, I know I will need my teammates for that, and I'm very grateful that they were helping me and they were pushing me even today to get it. I think they were pushing more than myself. So that says a lot about the mentality of the team.
He's a really good player. Really, really good player, this guy.
What a splendid strike!
He has something unique. He can run and he can, you know, the vision that he has.
In by De Bruyne, in by Laporte.
Kevin is obviously world class. I think that no one can argue with that. He is a world class player.
All the hallmarks of a normal Kevin De Bruyne goal.
Right now, he's the best. Right now, in the midfield position, is the best.
He always said that when he was in primary school still, that he wanted to be the best footballer of the world. And yeah, he's not that already, but he's working for that. I know that he do, yeah.
Maybe to do something in Europe will always help him. Also the national team, they have to do something, but Kevin for me is already there. You ask everybody in football and they always say, what a player, what an amazing player.
One of the best midfielders in the world, totally complete.
I've asked him, like, do you know how good you are? He said, yeah, I know.
De Bruyne rifles it in!
What a stunning finish that is from De Bruyne.
He's a masterclass player. He's one of course, the best players I ever trained in my life.
To be voted by competitors from other teams for best player, it's amazing, and it's nice to represent the club.